Hi guys, welcome back to Offbrand with OnBrand. Today we're joined by Adina.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on the
Adina, this is on my bucket list. This was really like when we started the podcast, I really wanted to have you because
I wish you just reached out.
well, it's perfect timing and there's so much to dive into. I don't know where to begin.
I don't know where to begin,
I
but
can't
first,
believe you said yes. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
It's an honor.
It's my pleasure.
For those that don't know Adina, I'll introduce her. Adina, founder of the jewelry brand Adina Eden, an incredible entrepreneur and philanthropist who serves on the boards of several charitable organizations. Adina has built a really successful brand and business, but what makes her story so meaningful is what's happened behind the scenes, the personal challenges she's faced, and how those moments shaped her resilience and motivated her to grow in some really difficult times. Today, we're talking about entrepreneurship, obstacles, and starting a business as a young girl in our Syrian Jewish community.
Slay.
And we're going to get into a lot of hot topics about that. But first, let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
You want to tell us a little bit about your childhood, growing your business.
How we got here today.
How we got here, yeah.
Okay. It's a little bit of a long story, but I'll chop it up. For my childhood, I would say it was definitely a very different childhood than a lot of the other Syrian kids. I am a first gen of immigrant parents, and that alone was a struggle. Just by being in yeshiva, and almost everyone is fully Syrian American. My last name was like always a question and a topic. And so that aside, being that I was overweight, I faced a lot of bullying. And when I say bullying, I mean very severe bullying. I had very few friends, and the few friends that I had a lot of times were faking it to be my friend and just playing tricks and playing games on me. And that was a time in my life where I would say is just very blurred. I don't remember a lot of it because of how much I went through, and I didn't know what depression was as a child. I don't think any of us do. And I was basically depressed. My parents always tell me I was so full of life when I was a baby and I was so happy. And then once school started, like my light diminished. And so that was something that was very difficult for me. And I worked really hard on myself to overcome it. And at the time, I just didn't know why I was so overweight. Later on, I found out that I had hypothyroidism. And that was essentially why I was gaining weight at such a rapid speed without really eating to match the weight.
Yeah.
And it was very, very difficult to explain it to anyone because almost no one believes a child. They're like, you're snacking, you're this, you're eating this, you're doing that. And like that was very difficult for me. And it took a very big toll on my childhood. From there, I would say after finishing school, I was like just ready to run away. Like I was done with school. I just wanted to be done and out. And I remember saying to myself, I need to do one, something about my weight, and two, something for my life.
And give me like a time period. Like how old were you when this was?
I was 17 years old when I graduated Yeshiva Flatbush High School. I was the heaviest that I ever had been. And I really needed to change my life. So here I'm going to tell you guys something that I only lightly mentioned on stories, but I did a gastric surgery.
What?
Yes.
At 17?
A bariatric surgery in NYU to lose weight. I remember telling my parents if I was like Googling and searching at this point how to like lose weight. I was obese. I was clinically obese, and I needed to lose at least 100 pounds. I knew I couldn't do it on my own. It was going to be extremely difficult. And every doctor that I went to said, we recommend you do bariatric surgery. And so I looked into options. My parents did not have the money. This was a luxury, you know, unless I can get it covered by insurance, which at that age is extremely difficult with no prior history. And I found a doctor in Tijuana, Mexico.
Stop it.
And I told my dad,
Please stop.
if you're not going to take me, I'm going to kill myself. And he's like, Adina, I am going to do everything in my power to get you a doctor from New York who will do this for you. And my parents worked on it before I graduated, for the last 6 months being in high school. That was our only mission. Secretly working on finding a doctor here in New York who's going to do this for me. And I found Dr. Fielding. He is an amazing, amazing bariatric surgeon, one of the top in NYU. And he said, I'm going to do this for you.
Adina, I'm shaking. I'm sorry.
And
could you just give yourself like 1 second? Like,
Yeah.
hard pause. You just said a lot, like a lot.
yeah,
You weren't scared?
no.
You
Also,
knew in your heart.
1
you wanted
second.
to
I
do
Can
it.
we
knew in
just,
my
like,
heart it's what I had to do.
Go back, like 17. It's prom. Boys are a thing. Like, there's so
College.
much social
Yeah.
pressure. Boys are everything. And like, not only are you dealing with bullying and you're dealing with not feeling well in your own body, but like also like, this is what you like, how much more like real does that feel in that time? Like everything feels like
was-
amplified times 1,000 as a teenager. And then
Of course.
like,
Yes. It was it was a very dark time in my life. Extremely dark.
I'm so sorry you had to go through
no
that.
boy ever looked at me like I was a girl. Never felt feminine. Nothing. Like, I mean, I only now learned how to do my hair and my makeup. When everyone was doing their hair and doing their makeup and getting dressed up for school, I was wearing a zip-up sweater and a Central Park skirt. And that was it.
just trying to like put something on that
And
fit
like a hoodie
get
over
through
my
it.
head. Yeah. And so I knew that I had to do this. I always felt like I had a mission in life. I felt like, I know this sounds crazy, I felt like I was a very special person from a very young age.
Even going through all
And-
these things, like you always had that like sense
had
of
it.
like push through.
Yeah. I felt like I was destined for greatness.
You are.
And
I mean,
I really did.
Yeah.
I
are
really
you
did.
kidding?
Wow.
How did you not let these
I
things
really
like?
did.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I-
it was
I
hard.
know.
In the moment, a lot of times I look back and I say, I really don't know how I did it. I look back at yesterday and I'm like, how did I make it to today? But that's what life is all about. When you're in the moment, you're dealing with it, you're hustling, you're moving on. And then when you look back, you look at your life and you're like, I accomplished a lot.
Wow.
And that for
was
me
hard
is a very,
just on a regular day. Like this is
it was
a
very,
lot.
very hard. It was a lot. Definitely a lot.
So then you decided, and your dad, who was
And-
amazing, snaps for your dad,
Wow.
For- and my
he
mom
helped you.
too.
and mom.
My mom was calling
Both
and like
parents.
telling everyone, you have to do this. It has to be covered by insurance. But they wanted $100,000.
Wow.
So we were able to get it pretty much fully covered by insurance.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, the doctors
You're
were
so
like, we're
lucky.
pushing for this, we're doing this. And it was a crazy, crazy transformation. I lost 120 pounds in the first year.
Wow.
I was in college.
Were you like sick from it? Like, did you feel okay?
I'm a very strong person.
I could tell.
And I was like, whatever the consequence of doing this is, of course, I had to go through certain psychological and psychiatric testing
Okay.
to be able to qualify, because hormones change after surgery and
Yeah.
there's a lot of things. And that's when I found out that I had the hypothyroidism, and where I would have to be on a medication for the rest of my life, synthroid levothyroxine. And I mean, it was a big change. It was a big change for sure, but I was ready for it and I wanted it. And this was not my mom telling me, Adina, if you lose 10 pounds, I'm going to buy you a new skirt, or I'm going to get you this, or I'm going to do that, which my mom is the best mother, and she always did that, and she always pushed me, and she always wanted what was best for me. This was, I want to do this. I want to change my life. I'm done being passive. I'm done letting the world step on me and belittle me. And you don't have a name unless you make it a name. One of the favorite things I always heard was, what was Nike before it was Nike? What's Nike? What does the word Nike mean?
Yeah, nothing. I don't
Nothing.
know. It's a made up word.
Until it was made into something. So Adina Kamkhatchi was nothing, and I made myself into
Wow.
something. And that was my mission in life. And so and so that was my mission. And I said, I'm not going to stop. And I had a very close relationship with Hashem, and that's something that I speak about daily. And if someone doesn't like Jews, or if someone doesn't believe in Judaism, you can unfollow me. I'm a very big believer that I was born Jewish for a reason. It's a very, very integral part of my identity. And I would not be where I am if it was not for Hashem.
Wow.
Because on the days where I went to sleep praying to never wake up, he still let me wake up the next morning and showed me that life was worth living.
And you also, like, you just said, like, you had this thing where you were like, I know I'm better. Like, I know
Always.
I'm supposed to be something.
Yeah.
Like, you never let it dim your light, like your parents said.
Yeah,
Like, you just
from
didn't.
from 5th grade, I remember I was sitting in a classroom. We were in like Torah studies, And there was about 8 or 10 girls in our class. And they were making my life a living hell. Like I was, it wasn't bullying like, oh, Adina's fat. It was bullying to the point of, and I'm like shaking when I say this, it was so bad. Like so bad that I thought I was going to change classes, and they couldn't change my class. It was already the middle of the year.
And you didn't even do anything.
And
like,
I didn't
you're
do
a
anything.
5th grade girl. Like, what did you do to piss these people off so much that they couldn't, you know?
Like
and as a mom.
they would hide my textbooks and my books and steal my pens and like stuff like that. And
it's my biggest fear in life.
It was terrible. And I remember we were looking at something on the projector. The projector was on, the lights were off. I remember closing my eyes and I was crying. And like I didn't want anyone to see me crying. And I said, Hashem, let these girls, one day, these girls will remember my name forever. And they're gonna know what they did to me, how much they hurt me, and they will never be in my life because I will make it. And I'm gonna be someone so big.
And I'm gonna show all of you.
And I'm gonna shine so bright.
Good for you.
But this is why I'm telling you that I'm blown away by you. Because like, what 5th grader was getting bullied is like,
people say I'm an old soul.
Asses.
I'm an old soul. I really believe that. And I had wisdom from a very young age. And I said that. And
well, that's why you're here right now.
Really, yeah.
I love how you're saying this because I feel like a lot of the girls now, especially with social media, there's so much pressure. Yeah. So for them to hear like you went through it and like having that in them, it's like I could still go on and I believe in myself. Yeah. Like I'm so happy
also,
you're sharing.
BS, like this, you gave yourself your own confidence. Like you put yourself where you are today. Like for anybody who's sitting and they're like, oh, but this person didn't like my picture. Like if you are gonna let that stuff get to you, and I've been in that position, so I totally get it. But like I've come to a different place in my life, similar to you, where like you just. I don't care what anybody else says or thinks, and you're going to live the life that you want to live. Like, stop letting other people and their opinions get you.
Yeah. You can't let anyone...
Look at what you've accomplished.
You can't let anyone dictate your life except for yourself. That was my childhood. I did the bariatric sleeve surgery, and my life quickly started to change. And I was in college. I remember my parents were like, listen, we don't have the money to help you pay for tuition for it was CUNY. And I said, don't worry about it. I got it. I will figure out a way to cover it.
No way.
And that was how I started Adina Eden, which formerly was Adina's Jewels. I was doing all the jewelry by hand. And I said, I just need to make a couple $1,000s, nothing too crazy. And then it converted into something crazy. I had to pay $7,000 or $7,500 for the entire year. That would be 2 semesters. And I made the money in the first month.
Wow. Like, where were you selling you were in Isaac
I made
Michael?
an Instagram. I didn't even get to Isaac Michael at that point. I made an Instagram. I was literally just going to people's houses and selling.
What year was this? 2015?
This is 2013.
This is not a thing. I just want everybody, like, you all have your own hair blow businesses and Holly, and nobody was doing this at the time. So, like, you making your own business.
Like, I started selling my exercise clothes on Instagram, like, 2016, and I think you were, like, one of the first to do it. So I was like, oh, I could do it. Yeah. And, like, you really grew from the beginning with Instagram.
Instagram back then was really sunset photos and outfit inspo.
Nobody was using it for business.
No one was using it for business. No. It didn't even have DMs. It didn't have stories. It didn't have anything. I had my phone number in the bio, and I was getting phone calls and text messages at midnight. And the next day, I would get up and go, show them my designs, so, like, tell me what you like.
Know about a factory, about a
I didn't have any of that at that point. In 2015, I brought my brother in, Meyer, the genius of the world. He's the number one. I can't even explain.
Also, I love his sibling business.
He's very, very smart. And I told him, I need your help with numbers. I need your help with understanding, reports and all of that. Like, I don't even know at this point how much I made, how much I've spent. I don't know anything. I don't know if I'm profitable. I don't know anything. And he's like, I'll help you with everything. And we slowly started working on this together. And I told him, I think it may be time to open a website. I want to grow beyond the community. And at this point, this vision was something like, we're 2 Syrian kids. My father's from Syria. My mom is from Israel. People looked at us like, you're a nobody. Who do you think you are? You're literally a nobody and a nothing.
How's anybody going to find Adina's Jewels? Why are they going to buy it?
Why are they going to buy from me? What makes me different from someone else? And we slowly started developing a website and working on it together. And again, all the big things in my life happened behind the scenes, behind closed doors. I don't share my success until it's out to the public. I don't share what I'm doing until it's already known. And that's a very big piece of advice that I would give people.
I love that.
Don't say anything until it's done.
Like work in
Keep
silence.
quiet. Work in silence.
Stay
work
humble.
behind a curtain. Nobody has the right to know anything in your life until you're ready to share it. And we worked on it together. And it was crazy. Influencer marketing started picking up. And my brother said, we have to get our jewelry in the hands of everyone.
I'm sorry,
I
but
remember
I
that.
will
was
never
crazy.
in my life forget Adina's Jewels going to Coachella.
Yes.
And I turned to my friends and I said, this is crazy. This girl grew up, we went to Flatbush with her, and she is at Coachella, and I'm sitting and having a juice salad in my house.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
But
I'm
then,
sorry, what?
So
It was
you-
Friday. It was Coachella weekend.
Yeah,
And you were living it up because you literally blood, sweat, and tears, and you deserved it.
thank you.
And I don't know how you did that, and I'm still in awe about it.
It was crazy.
so you got all the
Very
influencers to
passionate.
have your things, your jewelry brand beach is blowing up. Your friends that bullied you, were they reaching out to you?
Yes.
Oh my God, Adina, you're so cool.
Yeah. And you were like, what?
Never answered.
Good.
Some people don't deserve a response.
Good. You made my life a living hell. Now you're going to see me on Instagram with We Wore What and God knows who at Coachella.
Yeah.
And then your confidence throughout this, like the fact that you even called your brother to help you, like I feel like that shows, like you understand, like you're like you could have done it yourself, no problem, but the success of your business, you wanted him on board. And
Also,
your
you believed in it
confidence.
enough to say, like,
Yeah.
brother, like, this is going to be a big deal. You should come in it with me. Like, I don't know if I would have said, like, I don't know, I'm going to drag my brother in. What if it's not going to be, like, you.
Our
you had
deal
that
from the
vision.
beginning was he's like, listen, I'm never going to touch the product. I don't know anything about jewelry. That's always going to be your domain. You're the creativity. And I am going to handle everything else. And I told him, you have yourself a deal.
So
Yes.
it's incredible.
I think a very big mistake that a lot of people make, it's actually two mistakes. One, I think if you trust your family, bring them on board before you bring on a stranger.
Yes.
Because
Snap.
you're very, very rarely will family steal from you, will family hurt you, will family has your best interest at heart. So I knew how we grew up. We were very, very close, and I knew my brother was going to be my rock. And he is.
Amazing for your parents also
So,
to see that they raised these
absolutely.
amazing kids that work together.
Yeah. It's like their biggest pride.
It should be. I
Yeah.
mean, they're incredible.
Yeah.
Shout out to your parents.
So thank you. And then the second thing that I would say is a lot of mistake that people make in business is they think that they can do it all. And you can't. I failed every single math class from 5th grade.
Me too.
Me too.
I can't
We have
do,
a bookkeeper. Sandra was our bookkeeping.
I can't do 2 + 2.
Me either.
Like past that, I really can't do. My brother has a built-in calculator in his brain. So you have to be confident enough in yourself that I have my own touch, but I do need help in this respect. And that's where a lot of businesses thrive or fail. Because if you're going to take on everything and you're going to make mistakes because you're not equipped
Or
or
your
you're
ego,
not
you don't wanna ask for
expert
help.
in that area, that's your loss.
Exactly.
And that's you have to you have to accept that defeat. So I knew that I can do A, B, C, and D, and I need Mara to do the rest.
And it's smart you did that also because there's only one side of your life. You're a single girl in the community. You're going to summer parties Sunday all day. Then you're working Monday. Like you had this whole other life going on dates or whatever socially. Like how'd you handle both aspects?
It was very difficult. I was still on my weight loss journey. I still had more weight that I wanted to lose. I did not have a lot of friends. Unfortunately, making friends out of high school or out of college, it's even harder. And I only had 1 or 2 best friends. And they were my girls. They were like my lifers. And I enjoyed them. And I had my fun with them. But in the respect to deal, which is a great question, I had no life. We were going to deal. We were leaving to deal at like 6 o'clock from Brooklyn, making it there with Shabbat. Barely enjoying the Shabbat, going to a party on a Saturday, going maybe to a party on a Sunday, and then Sunday night at 9 o'clock, coming back to Brooklyn. And it was torture. And that's what I did the whole summer. So really had no life. And then during the year, I was in a school And I had events and I had shows and I had this and I had that. And it was very, very difficult to take off from school and to explain it to my teachers. They're like, what do you mean you have an online business? It was still very novel. It was still unheard of. There was maybe Bloomingdale's, Bergdorf's, that was online. But who are you? There's
like your little website.
There's none of these
Yeah,
small
show up to
little
school.
businesses. Small businesses were still brick and mortar. It was mom and pop. They were not going online. So it was very hard to explain it. But once I started getting the hang of things, once I graduated, and for me it was very important to graduate because I was the only one who went to college in my family on both sides, and to graduate, I felt like I wanted to finish. And I'm not a quitter. I don't stop. I don't quit. I just keep going. And for me, it was very important to finish. And I told Mar, you're going to finish too. He was in Baruch. And so together we're these two like literal babies. And we're building this massive brand that is growing very quickly. And you have CNN reaching out, and you have Forbes Business reaching out, and you have all these massive,
Incredible.
like massive Yahoo Business, like crazy networks reaching out. And they pick up the phone and they hear our voice and they're like, how old are you? You sound like a little baby. I mean, we had baby voices. We were little kids. And we weren't polished. We didn't know how to speak to, you know,
The CEO.
There was no ChatGPT yet.
yeah, we didn't know how to speak to Americans.
This is a pre-chat
We didn't
generation.
know how to speak to Americans, to middle America. We didn't know. We know this community. We know a very
The
different
factories,
lifestyle.
yeah.
We didn't know. And then we slowly started to travel, and we started to get factories, and we started to fulfill MOQs and
What's an MOQ?
a minimum order quantity. So at first, we couldn't afford to get 5,000 boxes with our logo, which our logo was made for $150 because that's what we could afford. We couldn't even afford to get 5,000 boxes from China. So we made stickers, and then we bought boxes, like cheap boxes from Amazon or from the city, and then we would put our sticker on. That was the packaging. We did what we could within our means.
So cool.
We did what we could within our means. At one point, we couldn't afford pouches, so we had those little organza pouches. And I said, they're buying for the jewelry, not for the packaging.
It's so
You have
nice,
to
like
know
being a part of
sometimes.
it, like from the other side, like coming to shop and like seeing every time like you were growing because like you were building it while we were like consumers.
I'm telling you, I walked Soho. Me and Morris, when we first got married, lived right in the heart of Soho. And I walked down Prince Street, and I saw your store, and I go, hun, this is a Syrian girl. She has a store on Prince Street. Look at here. And I made him walk in. What does he know from jewelry? I was in awe. I'm telling you. Like, I always was watching your success and so proud of you, like, as a cheerleader, because look at what you did. Like, this is trailblazing. Nobody did it before you. You were opening up a company, Forbes 30 under 30, major accomplishment. Like, kill it. And like, not everybody understands what it takes to get there, like you're saying, and you're being very like matter of fact because it's your life, and you're like, and I went to the party and I went home, but like this is struggles, this is hours, this is time, this is challenges that you don't see, that you push through to get here. I mean, like, really, just wow.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, it took a big toll on us. We were staying up till 2, 3 in the morning every single night, packaging orders. It was hard to hire employees and bring them to your mom's basement. You know, it was difficult. And then we finally got an office space, which was a massive undertaking. I mean, it was just crazy how things progressed. And to a lot of people, it looks like an overnight success, but it's not. There were a lot of sleepless nights. There was a lot of ups and downs. There was a lot of difficulties. I remember one day, Mara called me up. We were, at that point, paying everything on debit. And Mara called me up and he's like, we're negative $80,000 in the bank. What do we do? Like, the bank is going to throw us out. We don't have a penny.
Also, it's like
we don't have a
you're
penny
saying,
to
like,
our name.
I can't go and start
We don't have
asking
a
my
penny to
dad
our
for
name.
money to
No.
start chauffeuring
No.
my business.
No. And even if I asked him, he wouldn't have it.
I'm sweating.
My parents worked for people. They didn't have that kind of money.
And so
Everything was bootstrapped.
it's
We
on you,
bootstrapped
yeah.
everything ourselves. And I told Meyer, something's going to give. We're going to make the money. Don't worry.
keep going.
Keep going. And within 3 days, we got back to a positive cash flow.
Wow.
It was insane. It was insane because all you needed was one person to make a post. and done.
You like Madison Beer?
Madison Beer sold out our whole entire website.
It's crazy.
Every product on our site, we had no inventory left.
It's crazy.
It was insane. And we had good inventory. We had a wide stock. It was
Also,
crazy.
You taught yourself everything. Like, what?
I think
What's
everything
an MOQ?
we know. Yeah,
What's
like it was. Well, we were Googling, we were going on YouTube, we were and that's the thing, like, I'm not afraid, even to today. Sometimes I hear these big words. I'm like, Maya, I just don't understand what you just said. What?
Yeah.
What is this? What does this mean? Please talk to me like you're talking to a child. I don't understand these reports. You have to talk to me on my level. I don't get it. And he does. And then I'm like to him, oh, wow. He's like, I know. That was all in my brain. And like, that's how it is. And that's the beauty of, first of all, having a family business. And I always tell people, when you shop by me, what makes us different is, one, the customer is always right for me. I will do anything for my customers. People reach out to me privately on my Instagram. Tell me what you want. I'm going to have it done for you. My customer service is A+. And two, it's family. I trust them. I did IVF. I had twins. I just went through a divorce. I know that my brother has my back. I have my siblings in the office. They're handling the team. They're making sure that the ins and outs of every single day, that little nitty gritty that none of you see, that nobody knows unless they have their own business in product and retail, knows.
It's very scary to trust somebody with
Like,
a business
that's
that
another thing.
Literally you built from day one.
Yeah, it's my first baby. And it was very hard to relinquish control of many facets of the business. And at one point, employees told me, if you're not going to stop micromanaging, I'm going to leave. And I said, okay, I'm done. I'm going to have to trust you.
When you did IVF, you had your twins and you weren't in the office. Like, what did that look like for you?
It took a toll on the business, for sure. I will say that. You know, I am the founder and the face of the brand. So I was slowly pulling away from Instagram, from social media, from friends, from family. I was really basically hiding myself. I think something that a lot of things that people don't know about IVF, there's a lot of things that people don't know. One thing I will say is that, one, it's a waiting game. Nothing is in your control. Nothing. And the amount of doctor appointments that you have when going through IVF, I read this somewhere, so I'm not going to take the credit. Someone said going through IVF, going to doctors, the medications, the sonograms, it's like a cancer diagnosis. When I read that, I had to pause. I couldn't even believe what I was reading, because cancer is such a big thing and it's such a big word, and I could never even compare IVF to something that's so terminal. But when I read that, I started to cry. And I said, oh my gosh, I went through something so life-changing. I lived at the doctor's office. My life was not my life. It was
lab rat. They were poking you. You had shots.
Yeah. It was the hormones, the medication. I was not Adina. I was a shell of who I was.
Yeah.
I completely changed. It changed me forever. It ruined my life. That's the only way to say it. It ruined and devastated my life. And then you expect to go through that and finally get pregnant and become a mother. And then when it doesn't happen, that's another devastation. And I had 3 miscarriages. One was natural, very traumatizing. But it's unfortunate that 1 in every 4 women will have a miscarriage. I was not taught that. No one told me that.
So it's not like you, again, like, want to be telling people these kinds of things. So
but it's something
isolating.
that it's hard. And so I never told anyone. And then I did a double embryo transfer, and that ended in a double miscarriage, where I had to get a DNC, where I was put to sleep for 2 hours, where my doctor told me I didn't want to scar your uterus because you are going to get pregnant and you're going to hold a pregnancy and you're going to be a mother, and I don't want to damage you on the inside. So he took his time and he made sure to clean everything out. Yes, Dr. Grazi.
Wow.
I love him. he saved my life. And like, that's every part in my life where I saw messengers come in and lift me up and save my life. When I was 17, it was Dr. Fielding. And then when I had to become a mother, it was Dr. Grazi. And I said, Hashem put me through this, but he also sent me the solution. He gave me the solution before the problem. And he sent me these incredible people to save me. And that's why I can never, ever say, why did I go through this?
Okay, so you literally just beat my question. I'm sorry. But you didn't go through enough that now all of a sudden they tell you need to do IVF and you're like, why me? Like, why? Hit after hit after hit. Why?
In the beginning, yes. It was a slap in the face.
I'm annoyed for you.
It was a slap in the face, for sure. But I looked at it like how I look at everything in life. I can either let it destroy me and I could be dead, or I can get up and I can make something of it. And I remember after my DNC, I was just waking up from surgery, from anesthesia. And at that point I had done so many surgeries for the embryo, for the egg retrieval, and then another egg retrieval, and for this and for that. And I said, Hashem, if you make me a mother, I will give back in any and every way possible. My entire life will shift just to be charitable, just to help women, to support every organization, to do everything that I can. It'll become my life's work. And 6 months later, maybe less, I was pregnant.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
With my twins. And the pregnancy held. And I had my babies.
You have so much emunah.
Yeah. And I had a very, very traumatic birth experience with my twins. My daughter was very small. She went into the NICU. It was an emergency C-section. I was bleeding out. They didn't know why. They realized after that the placenta had moved. I mean, and then again.
Also, you're running a whole business in between this.
The doctor that I wanted to deliver, she was on call only for emergency. There was another emergency, so she came in. It was Friday, right before Shabbat, and she said, Adina, I guess I'll be delivering you.
That's crazy.
And it was just crazy how things happened. And I remember laying on that bed, and she says, I just reached the uterus. And I said, don't fail me, God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And Charles came out.
No words.
Ramona came out screaming on top of their lungs.
God.
Strong babies. I mean, she was 3 pounds. She said, this is not a 3-pound baby. This is an ox. And I said, she got her mama's genes.
Slight Ramona.
How long was she in the NICU for?
Just a week.
Wow.
What?
3
She
pounds?
was
What are you talking
strong.
in a week?
Yep.
Wow. I thought you were going to say like a few months.
No. Wow. She's my strong girl. She came home the night before her brother's bris.
Oh my God.
She's a trooper. I can't even tell you. Her life is set for her forever. She's an amazing girl. I mean, Charles is phenomenal too, but
The way you
I
talk
look
about
at
your
her
kids.
and she's me, and I see myself in her. She was a fighter from the womb. She had a velamentous cord insertion. She wasn't getting enough blood. She wasn't getting enough food. And every week she fought and she fought and she fought, and they made it to 35 weeks.
So you had your DNC, you had this traumatic birth. Wires and your team's handling the business, but from the outside perspective, like, people follow you on social media, you have this presence, no one really knows what you're going through behind closed doors. So I think the fact that you're opening up and talking about this, a lot of people go through DNCs and it's so hard. Like, what would you say to someone that like is listening that maybe went through that, or could use some like inspiration?
I think, going through a miscarriage, whether it's natural or through DNC, it's a trauma. And a lot of times society minimizes that trauma. That's something unfortunate that I've seen, is that, again, it's 1 in every 4. It's normal. You'll get it on the next one. At least we know you can get pregnant.
Which nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear that. So one thing I say is keep it private and only tell it to people who can understand the pain. Parents, siblings, and then maybe someone who went through it. That's really, no one's going to ever tell you what you want to hear. Even me. I can never tell someone else who went through a DNC or a miscarriage comforting words that it's actually going to mean anything, because it is such a devastation and it is a loss. I don't care if you miscarry when you just found out. I don't care if it's a chemical pregnancy, and I don't care if you miscarry at 6 months. It is a devastation at any point. Yes, the further along, the harder it is, and the harder it is to remove the sac and everything that's involved. But there's just never words. And I think someone who is smart knows that there are simply no words, and you just have to be there for the person. Just sit by their side. Telling them that it's going to be okay is not what they want to hear. Let them cry. Let them have their moment. Let them
say that it sucks.
Yes, and agree with them. It does suck, and you did not deserve it, and it was not your fault.
And it could be in Hashem's plan, but again,
and
another
exactly,
thing that
it's another thing that
you
don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Exactly. After I had my kids, I looked back and I said, it had to be Charles and Ramona. It had to be them who came to the world. I don't know the 2 sisters that they had and the little brother that they had. They're in Shamayim. They're protecting us. They're watching over us. I went to a lot of rabbis and I told them, what is going on? I'm 27 years old. I'm healthy. I have no problem. And they said, Hashem wants you to have these angels in Shamayim fighting for you.
Did you ask them if it had anything to do with the gastrosurgery that you did?
I did. Did not.
Nothing.
No. What I didn't know is that I had an autoimmune disease.
Wow.
With a very easy fix. All I needed was steroid
to
help me carry the pregnancy. But we wouldn't know unless we trialed.
Yeah.
And so every miscarriage brought us closer and closer to understanding that. And once we did, that was it.
I want to talk about a different facet of this experience now. While you were doing and going through all of these things, now you talk about online that you're a single mother.
Yes.
So I'm sure that didn't happen overnight either. And you were also probably dealing with other things while still going through all of these challenges. And that's, you need to lean on the person that you're doing all of this with. And like, just where do you, like, how do you get the strength, and how do you also, like, bring yourself to be so open to sharing these really, like, these are taboo topics.
Yeah, they are.
You're talking about being overweight. You're talking about surgeries. You're talking about IVF. You're talking about divorce. Like, give a second to yourself, just to be, like, so proud that you're this strong woman. And Ramona's so lucky to have you as a role model, I swear, because, like, wow. But how, and just walk us through, like, if you can, you know, like, some of also what that looked like, and, you know.
So I'll say it like this. When a woman goes through IVF and she's going through infertility, the woman is dealing with the brunt of it. I don't care if anyone's going to call me out or if that's going to upset people. Yes, the man suffers and he goes through a lot. But the woman, it's her body. She's being poked and prodded. She's going through the sonograms. She's waking up at 6:30 every morning to go to the doctor. She's going through the surgeries. She's injecting the hormones. She's seeing her body change before getting pregnant.
Yeah, those hormones, they make you bloated, your bruises.
I gained 65 pounds. Now, for me, being that I have a trauma of being overweight.
No, I'm shaking.
And that I went through all the weight loss. I'm finally happy with my body. My body can sustain a pregnancy at this weight because weight is a factor in infertility. Everything lines up. The blood results are good. This is good. This is good. And then now I'm injecting myself with these hormones. I'm gaining weight, again, without eating. I'm getting bloated. My clothes don't fit me. I took the jeans, I folded them up, I put them into a bin, I took out sweatpants. It was the most depressing moment of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not pregnant. I don't have a baby in me to say
like, this is,
I'm happy. Okay. In 9 months from now, I'm going to give birth. I'm going to have a child, and I'm going to lose the weight. And
So
who
nobody
cares?
knows what's going on behind the scenes. They don't know you're doing IVF. They don't know it's hormonal
No
weight
one
from injections.
knows
They just could say,
anything.
"Oh, what happened to Adina?"
Yeah.
I hate people. Come on.
No one knows anything. And then people are like, oh, you gained weight. Are you pregnant?
People said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I'm telling you. The nerve.
What do you mean? People just walked up to you and said, "You came, are you pregnant?"
Yeah. It looks like you're pregnant. Are you pregnant? Do you know what you're having?
Please don't ask anybody that question.
Just keep your mouth, put tape on your mouth, people.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So from every facet, from every angle, I had the social media aspect, and that's why I completely turned it off.
Yeah.
In my personal life, things were okay. I had my family to stand on. I had their support. But my business was my life. I could get up, I can go to work, and I could forget the day. I could forget the morning that I had. I could forget the results that I got. I could forget a lot by being in an office filled with a team who I've been working with for 5-6 years, who know me, who love me.
And it gives you
who,
purpose. You're
who
good
give
at
me
it.
purpose. Yeah, So that was a very big help. In terms of the divorce, it was probably the biggest decision I had ever made in my entire life. One thing I hear a lot of women say, now that I've mentioned that I am a single mother, is that they stay for their kids. I left for my kids. That's the biggest difference.
Wow.
And I think a lot of mothers don't realize that they are harming their children by staying in a marriage that's not meant to be. And that's the most that I'll say. Sometimes you get married to someone and he could be a great guy and you could love him very much and he can check all the boxes for you, but it's just not meant to be. And that's okay. Sometimes you wake up one morning and you say, something here doesn't fit. And it takes a very big person to realize that and to say, I don't want my kids to live through that. I don't want my kids to think that it's okay to stay in a marriage that's not meant to be. And at that point, I had gathered the strength. I was 4 months postpartum. And
You gotta be kidding me.
yeah,
Wow.
I was 4 months postpartum. And
You're just having miracle babies and
Yeah.
you had twins. No easy feat. I'm sorry, but
You didn't think it was like the whole, like when he's.
Yeah, are you postpartum? Like, that's a very good point.
no. Like I said, I know myself.
Yeah.
I know my things. I held my head on my shoulder from a very, very young age. My gut feeling is never wrong.
You know what? You trusted yourself from so young.
It was very hard.
Yeah. You have
Very,
to
very
trust
hard.
yourself.
Yeah.
And you did that from so young that like when you knew something was off, you were like, I know it, I feel it. Like I feel like a lot of people now, we just don't trust ourselves. So when
Yeah.
we have these feelings in the back of our head saying something doesn't feel right here, okay, I'll just keep
Also,
it's fine.
The
Like
optics could get in the way. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want a thing. People are going to talk. Everyone's going to know. But, like, you made your life, like, it's more important to you than all that noise.
So one thing I'll say is just to touch on that before I continue is people are always going to say something. They're always going to have something to say. I always go back to this. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he was praying for his sister because she got leprosy, he said a very short prayer to pray for her. And Rashi says, why would Moshe, he's Moshe Rabbeinu, he has God's ear. He doesn't even have to go to sleep to speak to God. Why would he say such a short prayer? And Rashi says, because whatever he was going to do, he wasn't going to finish from the people. If he was going to make a long prayer, they're going to tell him, Yalla, move,
on, yeah.
your sister's suffering. If he says a short prayer,
It's too short.
they say he doesn't care about his sister. He became too big
true.
shot. He doesn't care.
it's true.
And that's Moshe. So who am I? So anything and everything that you are going to do, there's always going to be someone who's going to have a problem. And let them have a problem.
Yes.
Let them have a problem.
Yes.
It's okay. And the gossip, they're going to gossip. Because they can't handle their own life, they need to talk about someone
nailed
else's
it.
life. Talk, Habibi. It's okay. I'm happy. I'm living my life. I have my kids. I have my business. I have my social media. I have my organizations that I work for. I got what I wanted.
Exactly. You're doing your life's
I'm happy.
purpose. You're happy. And they're sitting talking.
Everything I asked for from 5th grade in that classroom, Hashem said, Amen. I got it.
I mean, you worked for it.
I love
I
Talk
worked for it.
Habibi.
What?
Talk Habibi. I love that.
Yeah,
It's the
put
truth.
somebody put that on a mug.
Like, I feel like when people are going through
Talk.
stuff and they think that everyone's talking about them,
Also,
it's
why
like,
should you be
okay,
miserable
talk,
for other
Habibi.
people?
That's it.
You're gonna make your own life miserable just because you're worried about what other people are thinking. You're the one who has to live that reality.
A lot of people unfortunately do. And it's very sad. But I was not going to be one of those people. I'm too smart to be one of those people. And like I said in the
worked too
beginning,
hard.
I was not going to let the opinions of others dictate my life. Another very famous, a very, very beautiful quote that I love
Tell us.
is that a lion does not bother himself with the opinion of sheep.
Love. You have to write like a little quote thing.
And that's something that I carry with me. Because I have to look at myself some days in the mirror and say, you are a lion. Look at what you've done. And this is not about being cocky or
I was about
arrogant.
to say-
It's about being proud.
Also, you're so happy in your life, you're busy, you're successful, that like the people that are talking about you and that
Keep
do
chatting.
care, they don't have much, not in the nicest way possible. Like, they're just not happy, like you're saying. So why should you
They didn't accomplish what
worry
you
about
accomplished.
that?
Yeah, one thing I realized is that anybody who ever talks about you is never living the same life as you. You're living a much better life than them, and they're not happy. People who make your life miserable are simply not happy. And when I learned that, I went back and I looked at those girls who used to bully me and who used to make my life hell. And as time went on, I realized she was not happy because her parents were not showing her love and not caring for her, and she was being raised by nannies. And this one was not, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
yeah, they all
and you come
separate.
to
You
realize
see it from a different perspective.
why people do the things that they do. And so that makes you very forgiving, but it also makes you very smart. And it makes you realize, okay, if they want to talk, that's okay. If they want to have their opinion, that's okay. I'm doing me, and I'm happy with my life, and I'm doing the best that I can.
Also,
And sometimes that's not going to work for other people. It just has to work for you and for your life.
exactly. And
that's all that matters.
A strength for other people because, again, you're talking about very big, heavy topics that you're standing on a hill and saying, this happened to me and I'm okay with talking about it, because there are people that don't have that strength right now, that by you talking about it, you're empowering them. Whether it be somebody who wants to start a business, whether it be somebody who's going infertility, whether it be somebody who's probably in a marriage that they're second guessing themselves. And we could also, I feel like, even say, like, it's no small feat for anybody in the community to get married. It's you go through it, you date, now you finally get married, and you have to be the one, like you said, nobody gets married thinking they're going to get divorced, and you finally hit that accomplishment, and you have to be the stronger one to say, like, it's not working, and you have to believe in yourself and invest in yourself. And now you have babies. You're a single mom, Adina, and you're doing it by yourself. Twins.
Yeah.
They outnumber you.
Mm-hmm.
How is that?
Well, I live by my parents, so it's a very big support.
Thank God.
I have a very big support. Again, my family is everything. That's why I brought them into the business. That's why I trusted them with everything. And I would not be able to do it without my family. My kids are growing up in a very loving home, in a very welcoming home, in a home where safeh, whoever doesn't know what that means, safeh is a big thing. There's community, there's love, there's appreciation, there's experience. They're being raised by an older generation.
They have values.
They
and
have
traditions, yeah.
certain values and things that are being implemented into their everyday life that they don't know yet. But tomorrow, when my kids are going to have a strong work ethic, and when they're not going to be lazy, and they're going to be educated, and they're going to have all these things,
Show up for your
they
family 'cause
will
they experience
they
that.
will have much more than other kids their age, because they have it all right now at their fingertips. And that's, I think, something that
they're
a lot
seeing
of
you
kids
happy.
don't have. Yeah.
Why should they grow up seeing you upset if it's not right?
And
it's not
my
right?
kids are so happy because they see their mother happy.
Yeah.
And yes, I was 4 months postpartum when I chose to separate, and it was a very difficult time, and it took me time to make my decision. But at the end of the day, I also have to say thank you to Rabbi Eli Madelon, and the SY Beit Din, because they were then again the next messenger in my life who lifted me up and who saved me and who changed the entire trajectory of my life. Because I see so many women who are agunot, or who did not get their get, or are in the process of getting their get, or are dealing with so much. And I say, Hashem, yet again, you surprised me by how you helped me.
I feel like also shout out to SY Beit Din. A lot of people don't know that it exists. It's a newer system that they made, and it's like a Beit Din only for the community, and they help you with those things.
They are so brutally honest. They are so straightforward, and they don't take sides. They are extremely objective. But if a woman needs to be taken out of a marriage, they will get her out.
Yeah, we made their logo, as I know.
They are amazing. And I was blown away to see how they uplifted me, how they helped me during such a vulnerable time. And again, that was another time where I was very quiet on social media, where I was not sharing that. Because a girl who is, I call, in the waiting room for her get, she's in purgatory. There's really no other way to say it. Thank God I had no issues with getting my get. But a lot of women do. And it's not a time to be talking and saying, I'm getting divorced. Rumors are always going to come out.
Also, out of respect for the situation.
Out of respect.
This is still the father of your children.
Correct. And people, a rumor went out that I was getting divorced, and people did not stop talking. And unfortunately, a lot of that chitter chatter got to the other side. And that causes a lot of problems. And that's one thing I'm going to say now. Where's the camera? I want to talk to the camera. I'm going to look straight at the camera. If you are someone who likes to gossip, and you know someone, or you hear a rumor of a girl who is getting divorced, the best and only thing you can do is keep your mouth shut. Because you don't know the problems and how much fire and fuel you add to what's already destroying her life. And you don't know how dangerous it is to her life, to her well-being, and to her future. So if a rumor goes out, keep your mouth shut. Because every word you say, it's going to come back to her, and it's going to come back to him. And he can retaliate by not giving her her get. And you can ruin her future. You can ruin her financially, you can ruin her mentally, and you can ruin her emotionally. And especially if she is a mother who is postpartum or not. You don't know what your words can do to her life. And unfortunately, there may come a day where divorce is a topic in your own home. And you never know when life can come back to bite you. Be very careful what you do and what you say and how you treat people, especially when it comes to divorce, because a girl has little to no power in this process.
Wow. And like, women should be supporting women. Like, why talk about,
Yeah.
You're already in a disadvantage. It's a man's world. He has a get. You're in the waiting room.
Yeah.
You have these two little babies. Like,
Yeah.
and people are talking, no. Like,
Yeah.
keep your mouth shut.
I heard.
Take a shot of tequila. Like, go for a coffee. Call a friend.
Also, talk about something else while you're eating these salads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we just go back to what you just said? Because I feel like that really just struck a chord with me. Like, you're a person, you just started, like, not you just started, but whatever. You have your own business, you're a powerful woman. Now you're going to this situation where you literally have no power. Like,
Yeah.
what is that like?
It's tough. It's tough. But I also knew that my ex-husband is a good person. So I was not worried. He's a very good person.
Thank God.
In his heart, he's a good person.
Thank God.
And there were very beautiful moments in our marriage. And I mean, he's still my best friend. You know, we have 2 kids together. We have to raise them together. We have to co-parent beautifully. I don't want my kids saying there's animosity between my mother and my father. I mean, we are their biological parents at the end of the day, and it's on us. We chose to bring them into this world. It's on us to raise them.
You're
And,
very
and there's a journey to that, so it's like you don't even take it for
We have the
granted.
rest of their lives.
you're very mature in the way you're talking about it, because sometimes like when your parents are divorced and they put you in the middle and like they use you against each other.
Yeah, I'll never put
it's
my kids in the
very
middle.
hard.
Both of us will never put our kids in the middle. Never. And again, certain marriages are simply not meant to stay forever. And that's okay.
I love that
and
you said that you guys have a good relationship and that you
It's a
co-parent.
must.
Wow,
No, it's not.
beautiful.
You're putting your strength and respect and your love for your kids first, but not everybody has that, and I think it's so important, especially for anybody who has heard or that you could say for yourself, that you speak for your own life.
Yeah.
That you do have a great relationship and that you do co-parent, and that's very, very special. Sure, it's not easy, but it is really beautiful.
It's important to have that. My kids deserve that. And I mean, at the end of the day, divorce is never pretty. There's always going to be drama. There's always going to be something. It's because it's not meant to be. Again, people get married without the thought of that they're going to get divorced. But sometimes they do, and a lot of times they may. And so it's a hard process. It's a difficult process, and it's another loss. It's another loss of a future that you planned and of a future that you saw together, of a lot of things. But more often than not, if a woman who just had 2 babies is getting up and saying this doesn't work, it's because it doesn't work.
And believe her.
And believe her.
Yeah,
and,
support her.
And support her and show her the care and show her the love and show her that unwavering support that she needs.
They tell you it's easier to stay. It's easier to stay.
And I heard it all. And I heard it
What are you
all.
going to do? Why do you want to have to get married again? It's easier. What do
I
you
heard
have
it
to say
all.
to that?
What do I have to say to that? Yes, the harder decision is to leave. Always the harder decision is to leave. 100%, I agree with that. But I have 2 kids.
So it wasn't harder to... Oh, I have twins.
I have 2 kids.
It's harder now.
I have 2 kids. And I took an oath when having these kids that I'm not going to ruin their lives.
Wow.
I'm not going to do that. And if that means staying in a beautiful home that is beautiful on the outside, but there's things that go on the inside that we cannot handle, I'm not going to do that to them. I'm not going to let my kids grow up in toxicity or grow up in an environment that's not healthy for them. I was not going to ruin their lives from the first moment they came back home. I wasn't going to do it. And kids are very smart. And kids understand everything. And they see everything and they hear everything and they know everything. And I wasn't going to do it to them. Now listen, there are a lot of women who cannot leave. I hear them, I see them, I feel them. I have a business behind me. I have a mountain behind me. I can't compare anyone to my story, to my life. So I don't judge, and I completely understand. And that's where I say, this community is so beautiful, and our organizations are so special. And if you go to these organizations and you tell them, listen, I need your help, they'll help you. A lot of women just don't know that they exist.
Or maybe
they don't know
it's
the
embarrassing.
extent that these organizations can go to.
Can we
to
shout
help
out
you.
a few?
Yeah, can we shout out a few?
I mean, just from what I've heard, SBH.
The speech is great.
SBH, I mean, when I was going through the whole thing, someone from SBH reached out to me and said, we'll put you in an apartment.
Wow.
We'll get you groceries. We'll get you a mother's helper. We'll get you whatever you need.
And you didn't reach out to them. They just called you. Wow.
So, and thank God I didn't need that. Thank God I have a beautiful family and I have parents who are young and who are healthy and who can help. Imagine. So this is, I don't think a lot of girls know about this. I didn't. That's incredible what this community does. Yeah. Or you can call someone like Harry Ajmi and he can help you A to Z. I mean, look how many girls he got the get for, you know? And so there's a lot of very influential and important people and organizations in this community.
We're very lucky.
That
You
can
have to
help
advocate for yourself. Like, no one's going to do it for you, I think.
100%. 100%. And that's why I also say, I'm speaking here today because anybody who hears my story and who, if they're in something or they need the help, reach out to me. If you don't want to reach out to the organization, reach out to me. I'm not embarrassed to call an organization.
Everybody is,
you are not alone.
We live in a community where everything has to be so shame and I don't want anybody to know.
You are not alone.
You're not the only person. People go through things and lean on other people. You don't have to have shame about anything that you go through. I hate that. Like, you're already going through enough. You don't have to put that on yourself. And I'm so happy that you're standing up to that in any of the challenges that you just named.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. And one thing I'm going to say, I'll go back on what I said. I don't think it's selfish to stay. But I think that a lot of women don't have the confidence to leave.
It's hard in today's world. We just said this.
100%. And that's why I'm saying any help you need, whether it be a chizuk or whether it be financial help or anything, my DMs, my page is open. I answer every single message that comes my way because I know the process. I know how hard it is. I know how devastating it is. You're already going through such a sad thing, and then that's an added plus that's just really not needed. And I just think you can always try to make a marriage work, but sometimes when you just keep hitting that same wall, you need to know when it's time to call it quits. And like I said, I'm not a quitter. I don't quit. But there also comes a certain time where you have to use your sechel, your brain, your wisdom, your knowledge, your experience to know this can't go any further. And thank God, the process was seamless. I had my beautiful twins. They're happy, they're thriving, they're growing, they're hitting their milestones, they're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. I'm back at work, I'm happy, I'm enjoying life.
And you're co-parenting.
And you have your family.
And we're co-parenting. Yeah. And we're making it work. And it's a beautiful thing.
My grandparents were divorced even before I was born. And they had by the time I entered the picture, at least, they had such a peaceful relationship that they both would come to holidays. Even though, like, my grandma was remarried, she would invite him for holidays to her new home. And, like, to me, I grew up and thinking this was normal. I'm like, okay, so it's divorce. It's not that such a big deal. Like, I don't know. My grandparents are divorced and we still have holidays together. Right. Like, they never showed us that ugly side to it, and they always kept the family together because family is so important for us, and I was just about the family. So whatever, like, it's what you make of it. And I think that if you have that idea that family's so important to you, then you could still
be friends, like you were saying.
I didn't feel any shame about it. I didn't feel any disadvantage to it. I had both my grandparents at my Passover Seders, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is normal. I didn't think anything of it.
And it should be that way.
Like, family.
It should be that way. Yes, 100%. And it should be that way. And I just think that a lot of people think that it's just going to be this, you're going to end your life. They think that your life is over if you get divorced. And I try every day to be an example to show that your life is not over if you get divorced.
You are thriving, Adina.
You are thriving. I want to also talk about one thing. So getting down the aisle itself and like the whole, I guess, pressure we feel when getting married. Can we talk about that a little bit in the community?
I mean, it's a very
big... Also now, like, you're single again. So
yeah.
Oh, yes.
We're re-entering your single era.
But I feel like in a whole new light.
My single era. I'll say it like this. I think when I was fully single before I ever got married, it was a very big pressure because I was, to an extent, running a business. I was known. And with that comes a lot of, people looking to marry you for different reasons. And so I had to be very smart with that. It's a very big pressure to get married in general in this community. And I think a lot of girls get married sometimes to the wrong guy, and they know that it may not be a marriage that works, but they're doing it because they want to say that they're married. And I think a lot of girls stay in a marriage because they want to say, he's my husband, and walk into a wedding and have a man on your arm.
To do.
And this is exactly what we were told to do. And it's the tale as old as time. And it's society. This is like societal norms. But I think when it comes to certain things, I see girls now getting married later and later.
You do. I feel like it took a shift and everyone's getting married earlier now.
I see a lot of girls getting married later. There's always going to be,
but there's also people that are getting married later now because they're becoming younger,
and they're not settling. And one thing for me now, being in my single era, which thank God I have a lot of people have reached out with opportunities for me to date, and I'm very thankful, and I'm completely open to it and ready.
Can we talk about that, being open to dating? Because I think, let's say when you're a little bit older, maybe you don't want to be on every list, or you don't want to get matchmade. Like, how do you feel like confident to say, I'm not...
You're ready to put yourself out there.
But also, like, some people take it offensively. Like, I don't want a matchmaker. I'll find it on my own. Like, you know what I mean?
So, I think a lot of people don't go through the route of a matchmaker because they do feel like they want it to be natural. They want to bump into the person, or they want to see the person at a party, have a conversation. Beautiful. Some people get that, but a lot of people don't. And I think that sometimes a matchmaker or friends who set you up on a blind date, it's imperative. And I'm not opposed to that at all.
It's also how they always did it forever.
People that have been reaching out are friends, or distant, or whatever. And I mean, yes, I do have a big following, and I think there's a lot of people seeing me every single day, and they can be like, oh, she could be good for him, or she could be good for that. But
they don't know you, though. Like, I feel like you still...
So I feel like I share a good amount.
You do.
And when people meet me in person, they say, wow, you are who you are. Like, when I see you, you're being very, like, authentic and honest on camera, and I feel like I see that in person.
Totally.
Which I am. Or when people reach out to me and I message them, they're like, I was not expecting a response from you. So I am that type of person. Like, I really want to make everyone feel included, because for so long in my life, I was never included. Mm-hmm. And so I never want anyone to feel that way. But I think matchmaking is a beautiful thing. And I think that maybe some of them have their own vendettas, maybe some don't. I completely hear it. I hear a lot of things. But I think at the end of the day, you should always be open. Unless it's like a complete no, where it's like, there's no way this would work, fine. But I think always be open to a first date. You never know sometimes how someone can just completely like you could see the picture and say, I don't think he's for me. And then you go and then he's like, completely different from the picture.
That's what I was going to say.
Boys don't know how to smile. They don't know how to take a picture. They just don't.
Also, like,
you see a picture and then you see the person in front of you and you're like, two different people.
Even a second date, I feel like sometimes.
Of course. And I think it's
people
important
could see you online and be like, oh, I know her. But, like, they don't know you. Like, like, and even me, like, I think I know you. But, like, even now we're sitting and having this whole conversation. Like, it's so different. So, like, anytime you think, like, oh, I know her, it's not. No. You need to, my husband always says this, you need to sit across a dinner table from somebody, because it's never going to be the same thing that you think.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. It's just not. So, like,
and so I think
you don't know her.
Yeah, I think you should give everyone an opportunity and a chance. You never know where your nasib can come from.
Totally.
And you'd be very surprised. A lot of times people said, no way. And then they went on the date and then they end up married a year later, 6 months later.
Fathom.
You know, like, so it's crazy.
People are like, oh, Morris Michon? I'm like, no, he's my friend. Friend.
Yeah.
You say these words, I go, no, he's my friend.
I am very open with everything in my life. I'm open with every opportunity that comes my way, whether it be in business, whether it be in my personal life. And so I think it is very important to have that aura to you of being open. Don't judge people before you see them. Don't judge people before you speak to them. Don't judge them, period, honestly.
Love that.
But you may have a sort of idea of a person. Don't have that idea until, like you said, you sit across the table from them, unless you have a conversation with them. And I think there's no shame in going to a matchmaker. I think there's no shame in calling up your friends and family and saying, hey, I'm ready to date. I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. If you know or you can think of anyone that would be good for me, let me know. I'm open.
Yeah, like, let them do the work for you.
There's no shame in that.
Also, like, going back to my grandma, she got remarried, and she was married for 18 years, the rest of her life, and she lived a beautiful part too. It's amazing. Like, you have your whole life ahead of you.
I really feel like I was reborn.
Like, there's a next chapter. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, like, it's
exciting.
It's very exciting, and I'm very happy, and I'm in a great place, and I think I'm only going to continue to grow and prosper.
Thank God. But honestly, going back to the initial point of this conversation, is that you really, time after time, have faced challenges, and, like, you just pushed through, and thank God to Hashem and all the messages along the way that you've had. But, like, really you should be just so proud of yourself, which I'm so happy like you are, like you know it, but like it really is so inspiring and empowering to other people around you, because you never let any of these challenges get to you. And like, again, it's just life always has something to throw at you. So it's like exactly what you said, like what are you going to make of it? Are you going to let it get you, or are you going to get up?
Life is short but long, and there's always going to be hard days. There's, no matter what, things are going to go wrong. You're going to face difficulties. You're going to face challenges. You're going to face people that you don't like. You're going to face people who come into your life who are meant to be there for X amount of time, and then it's time for them to get off on the next station. You never know, but you always have to trust yourself and trust your gut and know when it's right and when it's wrong. And if you listen to yourself and you listen to your body and you listen to your heart and you listen to your brain, more often than not, you'll be very successful. That's really my best piece of advice.
I love that. I have one more question, and you could say if you want to answer it or not. But I do think it's so interesting that you said that you came from a place where like your parents couldn't afford to get you a surgery, or they couldn't afford to put you in college, and now you're a person who is able to get yourself, like designer things. And does it show you that like money comes and goes and it's all bullshit? It doesn't make you feel very like rewarded that you're able to provide this life for your kids and yourself?
So I'm going to tell it to you like this. Anyone who's rich says money doesn't buy happiness. And I disagree with that statement. Money buys you security. There's no other way to say it. Money is not everything in life, but it's important. And financial security, I know what it was to not have financial security. It's one less thing to worry about. To worry about money every single day, it's very tiring. It's very draining. And money is important. And it's important to work. And it's important to be your own boss, or to get up and to hustle and to work for the right people. It is important to make a living, man and woman, but especially women. Because even though she may not have to support a home, she may not have to pay certain bills, but she should be able to support herself. She should be able to have the strength and the security to walk out of a marriage, God forbid, one day, if that's what comes up. If her husband goes through financial troubles, she should be able to say, honey, I got you.
I'm gonna help.
You've supported us, and now I can help you. And so I think it's very important for every girl in this community to work, to make a living, to make money. Take your passion, turn it into some way, like monetize it. You have to, because money is security.
And also you said when you were going through a hard time, your job and your company, it gave you that strength. It gave you that purpose.
You never know when you're going to need it. And in today's day and age, when there's wars happening all around the world, and there's presidents coming and going, and the whole world hates us, you need financial security.
I heard Sam the other day, I'm like, Sam, should we like start hiding cash in the garage? I had like an anxiety attack.
You're the one who's going to have to tell me when I need to do these things.
I
Because
know.
I'm a little like,
But I like how we're talking about money and stuff, because like, since we're like open and honest here, like,
And it's so important.
It's so important. And my friends look at me, they're like, okay, so like you buy yourself a bag. I'm like, I could buy myself a bag, or I could help and like buy a grocery. Like, it's not my money versus his money. It's like you
Together.
You help your marriage.
Mars
you help
always
your
says that. He's like,
home,
Diane, yours, mine, all the same thing.
it's so important. And like, people don't really want to work because they don't want to look like their husband needs it or whatever.
Right.
But like, who cares?
Yeah,
Also,
and I think
have a passion. It's
Yeah.
fun. My work is everything.
I think
money's
also,
the plus.
I think also one thing is that society teaches us a lot that it's like the man has to support and the man has to provide, and we should just
Big
be
pressure.
the housewife and take care of the home, and that's beautiful. And a lot of women do it with grace. And being a housewife is a job in itself.
I promise
being
it
a
is.
mother
It is, really
is a
is.
job in itself, and I give them all the credit.
Being a mother's harder than having a full-time job.
It really is.
Said what
We
I
were
said.
saying that yesterday. Yeah.
I said what
I agree
I said.
indefinitely. But I also think it's important some way, somehow, to make some money on the side. I'm not telling you go make a business that you don't have to make a multi-million-dollar business, but do something for you. Also, tomorrow when your kids get married, they get up and they leave the home. Who are you?
Okay.
A lot of women say, I don't know who I am without picking up, dropping off, making dinner, doing this. I don't know who I am. I lost my identity. And so you don't want to lose your identity. Keep your identity. Play with it. Figure it out. And like, let it blossom and let it grow. You know, life is not all about shopping, and it's not all about Chanel. Don't get me wrong. I'm the first person. I would love to go to Chanel. I'd love to go and buy. And a lot of days, sometimes I do.
I love Chanel. I love Chanel. We love Chanel.
But also, as a single mother, my children's future is very important. And I'm setting up a future for them with savings and with different investments. That's something I didn't think I had to do before. But here I am. Doing? And I'm doing it. We'll talk about it off camera. But you just never know when life can turn difficult. A lot of people can lose their fortune. And if your wife money comes and goes. And you know what? Like I said, money is not everything, but it is damn important.
It's just an abundance.
It is important. Now, I'm not saying money buys happiness, but it helps a lot. And it eases a lot of strain, and it makes life much easier. I said what I said. And if someone disagrees with me, then that's their problem. But that is the truth.
Your kids pick up on this. Like, my son asks me when I come home, Mom, did you go to work today? Did you go to the office? And like, I think that's so cool. Like,
of course it is.
Also, like, he pays attention.
Because you know what? He looks at his father and he looks at his mother, and they're both working.
After I had a baby, he's like, Mom.
He doesn't have to know who's the breadwinner. He doesn't have to know who's making more. He doesn't have to know your salary. He doesn't have to know when's your paycheck coming in. But what he does know is my mommy works.
Yeah.
I think going back to what I said about trusting your gut, I think with everything, your gut is very, very... you have to be very one with yourself, and it does take a long time to do that, and it takes years of growth and maybe therapy.
So blocking out the haters, therapy, go therapy, love therapy.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, your gut is really never going to steer you wrong. And whether that's in business, whether that's in a partner, whether that's in anything in life,
like, listen to your voice.
Listen to your voice, and don't let the outside voices tell you this or tell you that. Like, at the end of the day, you know what's best for you. You know what's going to work for you. You know what you're capable of. You know what you're not capable of. And you have to really ride with that all the way through to the end. Like, you can't do it halfway.
You posted on social media the other day in your life. Could you tell us a typical day in your life? I'm just amazed by you.
Thank you. Every day is different. I will say every single day is different. But a typical day starts very early with the twins. Me and the twins are sleeping in the same room.
Could we talk about that? How?
It's very difficult.
Do they sleep at all when they see you?
I have like a little fake wall blocking us. It's hard. They hear me, they smell me, so they know I'm in the room. The second I walk into the room, it's going straight to sleep. I can't be on my phone. I can't be watching TikToks. I can't be doom scrolling.
Slip into your bed.
I have to slip right. Like, so it's right when I'm ready. I brush my teeth, I do my stuff, and then I come straight into bed and I go to sleep. They usually wake up at around 6 to 6:30. Some days are earlier, like 5:30.
That's very hard.
It's very hard.
And sometimes I'll tell them, go back to sleep. It's still time to sleep. Look, I open the curtain. It's dark out. That means it's still time to sleep. They listen to you? Everyone is sleeping. Yeah, I talk to them like they're...
Oh, God, that's America. They go back wait till they enter to toddler.
How old are they now?
They just turned... They're 13 months.
Yeah. So cute.
So, thank you. So...
I love their matching Burberry outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
The birthday, thank you.
Thank you. So, that's the morning. Everyone is still sleeping. The whole house is still asleep. So we have that hour and a half to 2 hours together every morning, which I love. So that's our moment to feel like we're in our own house. We feel like
family time.
But how do you feed two at the same time?
Well,
like the bottles.
They hold their bottles now themselves.
Great.
The hard part is picking up both of them and bringing them down, because I can't take one down, leave them down, and then come with the other one. One, they're crawling and moving and doing everything already. And two, if I leave one up and take one down, the scream and the yell that's going to come from that child is going to wake up the whole house. And I can't do that.
You're very considerate.
So I have to be very considerate. And even sometimes if I want to do the cry out, not possible.
Okay.
So that's another thing that was like quickly stripped away. So I bring them both down. I make my coffee. I pray every single morning. I think it's very important.
What do you pray? Like the whole thing, or like Modani, Amida?
I do Natilat Yadayim, which is the first and most important thing you should do, because if you are not clean, your prayers don't pass through. That's what I heard. It's what I learned. So that's number one. Then I do Birkot HaShachar. I do Ashrei and Shema. I don't do Amida. I don't have the time for it. And unfortunately, if I know that if I do this this is what I can do and this is what I can do. And then I read Negat Sarat for Against Evil Eye. That's a very important thing for me. And I say 2 prakim of Tehillim every day.
I mean, that's a lot. Okay, so
that's what I do. That's my prayer. And the kids are running around. Coco Melon is on. Like, everything is happening. I'm giving them crackers, giving them this. And then at about 8 o'clock, their nanny comes in. That's my time. I have a full 45 minutes to an hour to shower. I shower every morning. I do my skincare. I don't wear makeup every day. I do my skincare. I do my hair. And I get dressed, I do my videos, I prepare my content for the day, and then I come down. I don't like to be on my phone too much when I'm with the kids. So unless I'm picking it up for a day in the life or for a video or just to take pictures of them, that's what it is. Because really, if you just take your head down for a second to text, you pick your head up, they're both gone. They're not in the room. They're somewhere else.
Yeah.
So or you miss like a moment, like a connection, like when they're looking at you,
like him and her hugging or like something. Like, I like to just see everything. And then at 9 o'clock, they go up for their nap, for their first nap. I come down, I get ready to leave. I go to the office, and I don't come back until 3:30, 4 o'clock. The nanny leaves. We do shower time, dinner time. If their father is picking them up for dinner, I make sure that they're prepared for him with jacket, hat, everything. They go to him for dinner, and that's really it. Then it's nap time at 7, and I'm usually doing cooking. Me and my sister split up the cooking in the house.
I love that.
And it's great.
What a blessing for your mom to have you guys run the house.
Yeah, she loves it. And then if I'm going out, I like to go out at least once or twice a week just to be out of the house, change the environment, feel like I'm
a person.
I love that. I think it's very important. And so I go out with my friends. They're my besties, my good girls, my forever girls. And come back. I don't have time for TV. I don't have time to watch a show.
So you're not watching Love Story?
No, I'm not.
I'm glad you should watch it.
You gotta watch Love Story.
I know. The problem is I'm in the den. My dad is there. He's religious. He's like studying, so I can't put certain stuff on. And
I love the real talk,
and then if I go up to the room, I can't open my computer. The kids are gonna wake up, and it's also not fair to them. Like, they're sleeping, and their sleep is so important for them. So I'm just like,
honestly,
nice.
I used to not watch TV before 2020. Like, I didn't know any shows. I wasn't into it. And then I started watching a lot of TV, and I felt much clearer when I wasn't watching shows.
So I think when
you're in a good place right now.
Yeah. But I also feel like it is a good time to unwind and just like brain rot. And sometimes I feel like I need that. And then I'm turning my brain off in bed. And so it's sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to go to sleep because I don't have that time to unwind.
Like something to decompress.
Yes, you know what I mean? Amazing. But that's really what it is. And work is a full day.
When you get home at 3 o'clock, is your phone still ringing for work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it is. And I'm answering, I'm here and there. Yeah, I'm answering the WhatsApp, I'm answering the phone calls. And like, that's totally fine. After 5, I'm off the grid.
Okay.
That's
off
known
the grid.
Off the grid. Off the grid. Yes.
Wow.
Off the grid to the team.
Diane, I'm looking at 12 a.m. You're writing on
I used to be at 3 a.m. I'm answering WhatsApp.
I used to. It's for my kids. Right. They deserve that. They deserve that. Once they're sleeping and it's past 7. Kids. Once it's past 7, I could, But also, it's like my brother calling me. So it doesn't feel like work when my brother's calling me and he's telling me certain things or whatever, or like we're talking about it in the house. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
We are working 24/7 without realizing it because we are a family business. We're always talking about it. And like on Shabbat, my dad's like, cut it out. We're not allowed to talk business on Shabbat. But we're really almost like we live, breathe, eat Adina Eden all day long. Yeah. We love it.
What you said about your promise that if you had your babies that you were going to give back, which is what you've continued to do. So could you talk about some of the organizations that you're a part of?
So when I first shared my infertility journey and after I had my kids, Meyer and Golda Asher from A Giving Hand reached out to me, and they asked me to come to a meeting that they were hosting for a Mother's Day event for their organization. At this point, I never heard of A Giving Hand. I didn't really know that there were even fertility organizations. I didn't know anything. And so when I went, I was blown away by the mission, by what they do, by their story. And I felt like, again, Hashem is giving me another mission, and I did make a promise, and he's giving it to me on a silver platter. You made a promise, you posted, time to pay up. And I said, I will gladly pay my dues. And so I started working with them immediately. We did the summer concert, we did the Mother's Day event, we did all of that stuff. And then in September, little did Meyer know, while I was going through the most difficult time of my life, getting my divorce, he reached out and said, I would like for you to be on the board. And I remember like getting so choked up because I felt like things are going to be okay. You know, like things will be okay. And even with all the rumors and all the stuff that's going on and the gossip, like they trust me enough to have me on their board. And I felt very honored. And I said, absolutely, you tell me what I need to do and I will do it. And so that's my thing with the giving hand. I work on the social media aspect. I started the candle lighting campaign, which is essentially we wanted women to feel like they can donate something. You know, a lot of times it's a $36,000 donation, $18,000 donation. A lot of girls can't do that, but they can give 18. They can give 36 right before they're lighting candles. And so I felt like that was something that we had to do. And so I introduced that, and it's been very, very successful. And that's something that I'm so happy that like it worked. Aside from them, in the summer, I also was introduced to Rabbi Ozeri, and together we worked on the summer event for Chazak with the they had the chief rabbi of Israel come in, and I was introduced to the family. Wow. And I got very close with the chief rabbi of Israel and his family, my family. He had dinner by us. Like, it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And again, during a time where my family was so devastated, and this was just like a very uplifting moment for us, and it was incredible. And so I'll be working with him again in the summer for this event. They just had an event in Miami. Unfortunately, I couldn't go. I couldn't leave the kids. But I mean, at the end of the day, I do everything that I possibly can while still juggling my work, my children, and my personal life. And lastly, I've been working now with the JWE, which is the Jewish Women Empowerment, and they help women who are starting their businesses, whether it's with seed funding or whatever help they may need, how to travel to China, how to do this, how to do that. Incredible organization. So that's right now the three that I'm juggling. And I myself, after posting about my divorce, a lot of women reached out to me and they said that we need an outlet. And I am thinking with someone who's influential to start some sort of division. Anyone who's watching this has any ideas, please reach out to me and let me know. I want to start some sort of division for women who are either getting their get or already got divorced or were not able to get their get, something like that. I do also work with the Lev organization, which they help Agunot, and they have been doing amazing work. So I've been also getting really close with them. But I do feel that this would be more of an outlet to talk.
Like a support.
Like, you know, when you're going through like a speech fertility, they drop you the little bag with like
so
the robe.
I think something like that where we're a couple of girls and we're talking and we could all share our experiences.
Get a mentor.
Give them a spa day.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know,
Just
where like
for yourself, like a minute.
So that's what I'm thinking of doing. And I really have, I mean, of course, I'm always going to protect my children and their father, but I think it's important to speak about the topic of divorce and of what it entails,
like
and
you said, you
how
only
hard
could
it really is.
Understand if you're going through it. So something just for people to like feel seen.
Yeah. So I think that's like something that I want to do, and I think at the end of the day,
so important.
I mean, I'm never going to stop. This is my life's mission. Like I told you before we clicked record, maybe Hashem gave me my platform because of my jewelry business, but I don't think that my life's work was to make jewelry and sell jewelry. I think my life's it was the vessel. And I think my life's work is really to help people, to leave an impact. And I mean, I don't care about leaving a legacy behind or any of that. That comes with being a good person and with doing good. But I want my children to learn from the best role model. And every day I feel like I can fix myself and I can be better and I can do better. And at the end of the day, we're constantly given the opportunity to grow. If we wake up in the morning and you can walk with your 2 feet and you can see with your 2 eyes and you can hear with your 2 ears, you can do anything.
Before we wrap up, let's say for girls that are in college, just finishing college, they want to do something, they want to work, but they just can't find like what they want to do. How do they explore finding their passion and like really getting in touch with their gut, like you were saying?
So I think we all a little bit inherently know a touch of something that we love, of something that we appreciate, of something that we enjoy doing. And it could really be something like painting. It could be something like shopping. Today, you can turn anything into a business. I mean, look at Front Row Live. Look at all these girls who she's a fashion queen, and she turned her love for shopping into a full business. And now she's sitting Front Row Live everywhere and anywhere. That's a massive undertaking without realizing it. Whatever you like, whether it's you could style people, you can do so many things. I think it's really about what I did. I know this is like the biggest cliche, pro and cons. What am I good at? What am I bad at? Write it all down. Maybe you're good at math and you could become a math tutor. Or maybe you could come up with some sort of new something in math or whatever. Or maybe you're good in tech.
Love jewelry? Like you knew my thing is jewelry?
Always loved jewelry because that was my way to accessorize myself without clothes that couldn't fit me. So jewelry made me feel like a girly girl and clothing couldn't. So for me, that jewelry was everything. So I said, how can I turn this into something? But I think it's so important to really write down everything you're good at, and there's nothing too small.
Also, try everything.
Maybe you're good with pets. Maybe you're good with children. I don't know. But every small little thing that when you touch it, you turn it to gold, write it down. Because that could be something.
Also, don't be afraid of failing. Like, I don't know, we never really talked about this, but like, I went to school, my major was photography. If you knew me, I had my own photography business back in the day. I don't do photography now. I found myself into marketing. I don't know how.
So you cringe when I'm like, Diane, could you do the pictures?
Like, could you take your picture, your camera out? I don't know where my camera is.
So I'll tell you something. Life is all about evolving.
Yeah.
And something could start off as one thing and turn into something else. I started off doing my jewelry by hand. And then I started going to factories. And now I can't ever imagine selling one of those pieces or doing something like that again. You get what I mean?
Yeah, that was your starting point.
It's your starting point.
Just
and
start.
you start and you don't know where you're going to end.
Suck in the beginning and then you keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And don't be afraid of failure because failures are going to happen. There's going to be busts. There's going to be drops that don't work. There's going to be a lot of things. And people who get in the way or life gets in the way or things get in the way. I didn't expect that when my business was thriving and I had just gotten Forbes 30 under 30, that I was going to have to deal with IVF and a massive infertility journey. And then once that was done, I didn't think I was going to get divorced. So there's a lot of things that you don't anticipate in life, but life is going to send you massive boulders that are going to literally almost knock you down. And it's up to you to find the strength in those around you and within yourself to get up, to move forward, because at the end of the day, everything that you put into this life, you will get. Everything. You go to the bank, you put $1,000, there's $1,000 in your account. You can't pull out $2,000 because you put in $1,000. Everything that you put into this world, you will get. And I think one of the nicest things that I heard the other day, I was doing something and I was like, I wonder what, like, I could, if I were to explain my whole life, how could I explain it in a sentence? And then all of a sudden I'm scrolling on TikTok and this person comes up and he says this quote. And like, I'm a very big like quote person. I love quotes. And he said, God will put you back together again in front of the people who broke you.
Wow.
And that was my whole life. Because from childhood, from being bullied, from this, from everything, God put me back together again through every stage of my life. in front of the people who tried to destroy me. So,
You also said something very nice before, like similar to this. Do it in private.
yeah.
You have an idea, you don't need to tell all your friends. You don't need to like say it.
You can
too
tell it to the
much.
people you trust.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the world or to sharing it with everyone, share it when it's done.
When it's done.
When the seal is stamped.
Yeah, when me and Flo got together, it was very hard for me.
It's very hard.
We until we signed a paper, we weren't out and about.
And people had like little inklings.
I know, it was crazy. So I
It's,
agree.
It's no one's business until you make it their business.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Adina, thank you so much for being here.
you.
Guys, this was probably my favorite episode ever in history because I just like people who are open to share and like really slay. Just
We got very deep.
Adina really is as authentic as she is online. And I say it like it is. So if I didn't think it, I wouldn't say it.
So everyone DM Adina if you need anything.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Reach
and
out.
Thank you.
Always here.
Really, thank you.
Thank you guys.